everybody! Welcome to this week's episode of Dungeons and Demigods!
Dungeons and Demigods!
Dungeons and Demigods!
We're here with the first episode of one of two season 2s, because if you are unaware, this is part 2 of a show that originally took place over on our friend Hannah at Schooner or Later, which there will be a link for eventually at some point in the chat. One of us will drop that. And it started over on that channel. And we've split that large game into 2 games that are running concurrently. Wednesday's on her channel, Friday's over here. And this is season 2 of the show, but it's this channel season 2 of the show because both are running concurrently. So this is Dungeons and Demigods on Azure Wings. And we are here today with my group of wonderful players. So we're going to go ahead and go in order of our Discord call. We're going to go ahead, go one by one, just going to say our names and our tags and just get through introductions. So let us start off with Mr. V.
Hi, I'm Mr. V from the Adventures of Mr. V on TikTok.
Who are you playing?
No. We're gonna get actually today. Let's leave who we're gonna play for now because all of these characters are gonna be the first time they're introduced to the thing. So we'll wait for in-game to introduce the characters properly.
Okay. I mean, you can see them in the corner and under our faces.
You can see them. But let's wait.
I'm Bertie,
Wait.
also known as Bertie the Bard on all social medias, and I made all the pretty things you can see, except for all these people, and I didn't do Val's makeup.
Or did you?
You? You live in the same country after all. It's possible.
There's a pandemic on. Can't go around touching other people's faces.
Val.
Social distancing. Hi, I'm Bertie the Bard. You can find me at Bertie the Bard on TikTok.
Shit.
That's the thing. You guys are like, we're gonna bring one joke over from the old campaign.
And
That's what you're gonna bring?
I just fade away.
Okay,
Oh no,
Val.
I faded away.
Go ahead.
You go.
I snapped him. Hi, I'm Val. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the Netty Niffler on TikTok, Instagram, and the Twitters. And today I'm playing Bertie the Bard. Okay, go my wife.
Hi,
Funny.
I'm Betty, and you can find me at Betty.
I felt like I missed the joke.
Without
God damn it.
without the sunglasses and the ukulele, this is shit. I'm sorry.
To anyone who's not in on the joke,
I reject this reality.
Hi, I'm Betty the Bard. Okay.
Well, it takes 2 of you to do what one Abby can do.
We're not Abby. We're sorry.
Not Abby.
I miss Abby.
Hi, I'm Bunny. I go by Chaotic. You can find me on Chaotic Bunny on all the socials. You can also find me at Fae Fiends and Friends for Witches of Woodside.
Cool. And I'm your Dungeon Master, Aaron, also known as Obsidian Olive, pretty much everywhere. I run this campaign and the concurrent campaign over on Schooner or Later's channel every Wednesday and Friday. And we're gonna get into a whole new adventure today. We're starting off with a whole new cast of characters played by our lovely players. Our brand new player, Mr. V, joining the campaign. This is gonna be real fun, and we're gonna get right into it. So,
Wait, hold on. Music.
oh, yes. Also, all of our music is brought to you by Arcane Anthems on like every social media and Spotify.
Yeah!
It's our good friend Wes who makes absolutely free RPG music for you to use in your games, and we use his music pretty much every week on all
The
of our
track
shows.
you can hear right now is called Solemn Rest.
It's a good one. That's a solid. I think that's actually the same one that I use as my holding screen on my personal Twitch channel. It's a really good song. But yeah, so if you want to go check him out, go ahead. He's a really good friend, and we love him a lot. All right.
For free.
For free.
For free.
You should definitely go check out his Patreon, though, because
We
I
love
am a
him for
composer
free.
rank supporter. Bertie, you support his Patreon too, right?
I do. I'm a Patreon supporter. I can't remember what tier I am right this
Yeah.
second, but yeah.
It's good. It's good.
I'm the one where you get loops.
I'm also the one where you get loops. So, let's go ahead and get into tonight's game. We're starting off our day, the first day of summer at Camp Half-Blood, home and training place for many demigods. It is the beginning of summer, and as such, people have been arriving over the last few days. Many demigods have found their way here, either as new campers or as returning warriors, all coming together to find this safe haven. Now, today, instead of manning the archery fields or hunting monsters in the forest, most of the campers can be found gathered around a structure known as the climbing wall. 2 large sections of granite that are sheer cliff faces with streams of lava pouring down either side that every 2 to 3 minutes slam together to crush whoever is climbing the wall. Most people have been gathered here today to witness a bit of a record setting, as the record for the climbing wall was set about 8 months ago by a young camper by the name of Cadmus, and now we have another person. Birdie, I'll wait for him to get his headphones on. Wait for it. Wait for it. There he is. If you'd like to describe your character real quick, Birdie.
Well, hey, my name's Max. Max is he's a really big, he's 6'7", and he's just a really buff, burly guy. He's got curly ginger hair, and he wears a blue headband, orange Camp Half-Blood t-shirt, and some of the shortest shorts you've just ever laid your eyes upon, and a pair of sneakers, and some kid called Cadmus beat my time on the climbing wall, so I can't be having that. I gotta fix that.
And this young man, Mr. Max, is standing at the base of the climbing wall. He's standing there rubbing his palms together with a little bit of chalk on them, getting ready to try and make this record. But we have standing around demigods of every shape and size. There are tall, blonde-haired children that seem to stand together in groups, each of them wielding quivers on their hips and bows on their backs. We see larger, burlier figures, all kind of standing off to the side, tinkering over small bits of metal. And, more importantly, sitting under the shade of a nearby tree, there is a collection of a few different demigods who seem to prefer black leather as their aesthetic. Morgan and then Jax, if you two would like to introduce your characters.
So would you like to go first?
Alrighty then. Do you want to go first? You can go first, Jax.
No, you go.
No, I insist you go first.
No,
I insist. I insist you go.
Jax, go first. That was a natural 20. That was a natural 20 first roll of the game. Oh no.
So you see a kind of a tanned olive-skinned boy, long, dark hair that kind of is in the shape of a fringe, but also has a bit of a side shaven undercut. He's wearing his Half-Blood t-shirt, Camp Half-Blood t-shirt, underneath a black hoodie, wearing long, dark jeans, Converse. And it's just kind of sitting there fiddling with his fingers, looking up occasionally.
To his side is a extremely tall, 6'2", not in platform heels, but as she is currently in platform heels, probably about 6'4" or 5", child with completely white hair and green eyes. She looks like she stepped out of some sort of gothic fashion magazine and absolutely is 100% aware of it. And she is currently watching what is going on in front of her, but also taking a look at the crowd and the people watching Max curiously to just see how their faces change as he breaks this record.
Max, it is going to be time for you to make your climb up the wall. You set it to be 10 a.m. on the dot was when you were going to show everyone that you're going to take back the record.
Absolutely.
But you look around. Your best friend is not present.
Where's Nerida?
And you look around and you actually see there's not quite a few, but 3 or 4 notable campers who haven't shown up thus far.
Oh shoot, that was today. Oh well.
In fact, most of the senior campers here have not appeared yet at this group. If you'll recall, you chose not to go to a senior counselors meeting this morning.
I mean, Kyron knew this was happening today. I don't know why he he organized a meeting at the same time. That's kind of on him.
That's fair. So, you see that there is now crowds of people, and now that we're getting closer to the time, you see people checking their phones, their watches. There's even a smaller child, maybe 7, 8 years old, with darker skin and dark hair, who walks over and pulls a hammer off of one belt and clangs it against the side of the rock wall. I'm bored. Are you gonna climb or what? You see.
Thanks, Juan Carlo.
Yes, Carlo Mendoza is getting quite impatient.
You know, I'm just psyching myself up. You know how it goes. Okay. Someone timing this? Someone, can we get someone?
I got it. You hear in the in the distance, and you see that there is a smaller nymph there who has what looks like a small sundial in her hand. All right, I'm ready.
Well, we'll get approximately the time with that, but let's go. He's gonna be like, and he's gonna run at the wall, and he's gonna start climbing up.
So as you run towards the wall, you see now these two sheer cliff faces that are facing each other. Maybe 10 feet from the wall, they clash against each other. You see the rock faces, having done this every 10 minutes for the last 40
Yeah, I know the time
years.
intervals.
Yeah. And as they hit each other, there's a spray of magma that sprays off. Can you go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw, please?
I certainly can. Oh, that's cocked, but it would have been a 20 if it wasn't. It's not awful. Hang on. Okay, that's a 14.
14. Okay, so you easily, being very well trained in the climbing wall, step to the side as a spray of magma goes past you, landing on the grass, and you see little sizzlings as the lava hits the ground and then immediately begins to solidify into stone. You flip back on a heel and begin sprinting towards the wall. Can you go ahead and make me an athletics check to see how high you can get from just the initial jump?
Okay. I'm good at athletics checks. This is really... Okay, I rolled a 13 for a total of 23.
So with the 23... Okay, so with the 23, as soon as the walls begin to spread open, you jump to the side, not even waiting for the wall to be completely up, pushing off the back wall and putting all of your weight forward, putting your entire, 6'3" physique...
6'7".
6'7" physique up, arms reached into the air, made to pull upwards, finding different handholds that you've found dozens of times in your climbs. As soon as you make contact with the wall, you hear the crowd go, "Ah!" And you see Juan Carlos stands below. As you glance down slightly, still not impressed.
As at this point, I'd like to remind the DM that as of 7th level, I have a climbing speed equal to my walking speed.
Correct. So you can begin to climb. There are going to be a few checks involved. First thing, as you begin to move, you remember that there is a lava geyser that comes off on the quickest path, maybe 15 feet up. So you're going to have to go ahead and make me another dexterity saving throw to see if you can avoid the lava.
Okie doke. Alright, that's no good, so I'm going to use my heroic resilience. I'm going to re-roll it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, that's better. That's an 18 for a total of 20.
A total of 20. So, yeah, as you begin to climb up, you turn, gripping still on the wall, but you're back against the wall very awkwardly as you curve your body to the side, and there's a fountain of lava that sprays out the side of the wall. You avoid taking any damage, so you can feel the heat on your skin and that smell of like molten rock in the air.
Gotta feel the burn.
Okay, go ahead and make me another athletics check with advantage because of your climbing speed.
Okay, that's good. That's not as good. So 28. On 18 plus 10.
Let's see here. V, can you go ahead and roll me a d4, please? Let's see here.
Suddenly everyone's like, shit, I need dice.
4? Okay, Val, can you go ahead and roll me a d8, please?
Yes, I can. When I find the right dice, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. I rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8? Alright. So let's see
I
here.
rolled an 8.
That's unfortunate. Okay.
Oh god.
Max, you are about halfway up the climbing wall at this point, basically leaping between handholds. And then you feel that randomized thing begin to happen.
Ah, shoot.
Of the walls vibrating, beginning to get ready to slam into each other. You can feel it's coming. It's probably still a few seconds off. But that means you have to make it in the next like couple jumps. You're gonna have to jump out of the way to not get crushed.
Okay.
Okay. So
What's my next roll?
Another. Let's go. Okay. Let's go ahead and make another athletics check. This one also at advantage.
Okay, that's not so good. That's a natural 20 for a total of 30.
Okay. So you feel the walls begin to rumble, and you push farther than you've ever before. Instead of reaching to the next handhold, you bring your foot vertically all the way up above your head, dig your toe in, and push off Superman jump style. And you are now above the wall, and you land both feet on the wall as the wall slams into each other.
I'm
The
okay.
crowd goes quiet, and everyone looks eyes towards the nymph.
Time!
She looks down. 7.8 seconds. New record.
That's how we do it.
And
Over in the
crowd
Hercules
begins to
cabin.
cheer. The crowd begins to cheer. Juan Carlo pulls out his hammer and begins to slam it on the rock wall, making just enormous amounts of noise. You see the nymphs throwing things up in the air. At one point, when you begin to climb down, one of the satyrs runs over and throws a golden laurel over your head.
Oh,
as
thank
hit a
you.
new record.
Thank you. Suck it, Nike cabin.
There's one blonde teenager, maybe 13, who looks over at you and goes, "All right." Just keeps walking away. But as you, can you go ahead and roll me a perception check? The three of you.
Yes, I'm not so hot at that. 15.
Sure thing.
15.
Jesus.
Jesus was your roll?
Nat 20.
Yes, my roll is
Nat
Jesus.
20? So for a total of?
Total of 23.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I got a 19.
A 19. Okay, so all three of you would notice as you're kind of cheering, the two of you who are off a little bit, still kind of sitting at the tree comfortable, would see that coming from, it looks like the camp store or maybe the weapons shed, you see Chiron beginning to trot up the side of one of the hills at a very slow pace. And Morgan and Jax, you would both see that there is someone with him, maybe 5 foot something tall, you're not sure. They don't look like someone you recognize. And Chiron begins to get closer. You see other campers begin to notice this and quiet down and turn and look towards Chiron. And the person with him. Zinnia, would you like to describe your character?
Hi, yes. So, first thing you notice about Zinnia is their hair. They have different streaks of blonde, black, red, brunette, all seemingly natural. They have quite tan skin, but they have vitiligo, so there's patches of just white skin on their face. And they also have heterochromia. They have one blue eye, one brown eye. And they're about like 5'7". They're a little bit they're an average build. And yeah, they're currently wearing like overalls with kind of like a long sleeve shirt. And they kind of look at the wall and they go, "Oh, I think I remember that too. Wow, that's been here a while."
Chiron leans over. It has been there for some time. Young Max, it seems you've set a new record. Congratulations.
Thank you. Sorry I missed the meeting this morning, but it's important.
Actually, it's quite a good thing that you missed the meeting because I am able to give you what I think you would consider a little bit of good news. But first, I have an announcement. And he kind of steps back, his white horse legs, as Chiron the Centaur begins to back up from the crowd a little bit. And you see him like inhale, putting his hands to either side of his mouth, and he goes, "Heroes, gather!" And you see all of the demigods from around camp, even the ones who weren't present at Max's little record-setting event, begin to move towards the hill, his voice having carried across the entirety of the valley that is Camp Half-Blood. You see every person that you've made friends with thus far make their way to camp, except for a few. Max, as you stand there, you notice that your best friend, Narita, who's supposed to be here to watch you do this awesome thing that you've been looking forward to, isn't here.
Man, she's gonna be real pissed when she finds out my awesome time.
Yeah. Morgan, because of the eyes that you keep on people, you would also notice that one of the bigger topics of conversation here, one of the children of Zeus who's appeared in the most recent months, Luke, is also not present. So both of your big three kids, Nerida, daughter of Poseidon, and Luke, son of Zeus, are not here. And as people begin to gather, Chiron waits a moment before everyone has grouped up, even prompting the rest of you who are seated near the tree to stand. Do you guys do so?
I guess.
Come on, Jackster, we wouldn't want to miss anything.
The Goths roll out of the grass and begin to gather with everyone else. I have come to you this morning with an announcement. Some of you are aware that over the last 6 months, another great prophecy has been issued. This prophecy tells of a rising of serpents, an ophiomancy.
Mackie.
Mackie. My brain is... Thank you, Mackie. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Max.
As he says
That's no problem.
As he says that, shoulders lower. People avert their eyes to the ground. Everyone just seems a little disheartened with this beginning of this information. Those of you who have been at camp for some time are aware that the prophecy that was raised 6 months ago with the completing of a quest to reclaim the Shrine of the Oracle in the California desert, it tells of another imminent threat to Olympus. A rising of great serpents that they've not seen before. And this news for the campers who've just recently gone through a war their previous summer is not something that they enjoy, because a lot of them have just fought a war and they don't want to fight another one. I know that you are tired. I know that you are still in pain. It has only been a year since you fought one of the largest threats Olympus has ever faced. Many of you lost comrades, siblings, and friends in the Titan War. To have another enemy arise so soon is something none of us could have foreseen. But therein lies the greatest truth to this threat. Olympus has never seen a threat of this kind before. Monsters of old are gathering, and a united front of serpents is something that the gods may themselves not even survive. Know this. The demigods that live through this war will go down in history. They will become the greatest generation of heroes that Olympus has ever seen. We must stand to protect our friends, to bring security to our family, and bring an end to this threat. We stand to defend Olympus. And as he says that, you see that a lot of the shoulders that were kind of down straighten a little bit, and people grab the swords on their hips a little bit tighter. You see people have a little bit of a spark in their eye. Even Juan Carlo, who was not enthused by this conversation, raises his hammer above his head and gives a solid whoop, like a solid whoop. And as that goes, you see scattered cheers in the crowd. People still not entirely sure that this is something they should be hype about, but people are beginning to look at this in their own ways.
Max's eyes are lit up. He is like, yeah, let's go.
Morgan, Jax, are you two having any outward obvious reaction to this?
Morgan leans her shoulders back and goes, "Defend Olympus. and lets her magic, which looks like, because I've been watching a shit ton of WandaVision, a dark green version of that orb just engulfs her palm. She says, defend Olympus.
Yay! Gives that half-hearted cheer to it, while just showing off her magic a little bit. Zinnia
gives a little.
Just a little solid move with the cane. Yeah. So Jax just takes this like nice darkwood cane that this teenager carries around and gives
I love him.
Zinnia, the words that Chiron is speaking do not strike a chord with you. Most of the things that Chiron has mentioned, you've kind of had like a passing. Oh, I remember something like that. That's something that's just at the back of my brain. But this Titan War stuff, that's not something that really you get at the moment. He's talking about something you don't understand. Unlike in the Titan War, we will not stand idly by as our enemies gather their forces. I have spent the last few days speaking to a few select senior demigods, and we have begun constructing a list of quest leaders to lead missions against the serpents of old. After recent events that have opened my eyes, I personally visited Olympus yesterday to meet with several of the gods. I have received permission to expand quest groups in the name of numbers and security. The gods are behind you, heroes. Each of these groups will meet with our oracle and leave as soon as possible to strike out against the threat. Heroes, training has ended. We go to war. And as he says that, there's like this sad resoluteness to his voice and his face. And you see that the cheering that had begun transforms from people being kind of excited for glory to this straight-shouldered pride. And people, without realizing it, step back and forward slightly and begin to form ranks, just standing there, naturally falling into line, shoulder to shoulder, to protect their friends. Do any of you take part in this? No? Okay. So. Oh, Max, your microphone has gone away for a second. Chiron leans back, and you see that on his back there is not a saddle, but a set of saddle bags that he's been using to carry things around, and he reaches behind him and pulls out what looks like a long scroll. And he reads it open. I have several names here that are going to be people who we have chosen to lead quests against the serpents. Now, to begin, and actually, as he looks at it, he decides, instead of reading out the whole list now, he scrolls it back up. We're going to start with someone who has just achieved a great accomplishment. Young Max. You have been here for 7 years and never been chosen for a quest.
Yeah?
Today that changes. Morgan Petrov.
Wait, what?
Jackson Copper. The two of you will be accompanying him.
Okay.
Excuse me, Chiron, I just need to take a second. He's gonna walk around to the other side of the climbing wall. And then you just hear an...
I love it so much.
I feel so secure with our new quest leader.
Oh, yeah.
And he's gonna come back completely straight-faced and be like, "That is a great honor, Chiron. Thank you very much."
Sorry, I need a second. You see Chiron completely straight-faced. I understand. Now, the rest of you. After I have met with young Max and his group, I will be sending the satyrs out to gather each of the other individual quest leaders. Misspoke. And then, each of you will be departing in the following days. Max, Morgan, Jax, young Zinnia. He leans over and speaks that quietly to Zinnia. Please follow me.
You okay?
And he begins to lead away from the hill, down towards the big house, the large 3-story white painted building with blue trim. at the bottom of the valley.
Wait, we get to
Where would you say that to, Jax?
No, I was just saying it in general.
Okay.
Wait, we get the new kid?
You're not trying to hide that, right?
No.
Yeah, Zinnia, you hear this? This like short, not shorter, but like average height,
5'10".
young man. 5'10", a little taller.
I'm not new. I've been here before.
I'm sorry?
I've been here before. A lot of times, actually. The new cabins. And they turn to Chiron. When did they come in? They used to only be 12.
Well, they were created after a good hero last summer made a deal with the Olympians to accept all children, even the children of minor gods and goddesses, and give them their own cabins.
That was really cool. I
have-
get my own cabin now. It's got a gym in
Yes,
it.
as I was going to say, we have here all 3 of your quest members have cabins of their own that have been built within the last year. Except for young Morgan, who I believe shares with Llewellyn and a few others.
Yes. We share the smallest cabin, but no one's counting.
Well, if I recall, you were in charge of designing your own cabin.
Yes, but you let Llewellyn design it, and it turned out really well, let me tell you. There is just memorabilia all over the walls. Who doesn't love a tiny shack filled with knickknacks?
Yes, but these cabins have been built over the last year.
Interesting.
Yes, it's rather interesting, isn't it, that we've got quite a request. We have a child of Thanatos, a child of Heracles, an unclaimed child, and a child of Hecate. Happened Chiron were all the important children busy.
You are all important.
I think we're very important. Thank you, Chiron.
Next, I think you're.
Oh yes, we're very important. That's why Chiron trusts us so much with all the big quests, isn't that right? Not Percy or Annabeth.
Well, to be fair, young Perseus left early this morning on his own quest.
Oh, of course he did.
Speaking of Percy, where's Nerida?
She also
What?
left this morning on her own quest.
She
Without saying goodbye to Max.
It was a matter of urgency. Please come with me and I will explain everything.
okay.
I'm sure
Max.
she wanted to say goodbye.
To make it clear to you, Max, she did not have a choice in the matter.
Okie doke.
And Chiron begins to walk towards the big house. And sorry, Max. As he walks to the porch,
Done.
you see him take the time to lower his back half into his wheelchair, the horse half lowering into this like bucket-shaped wheelchair and just vanishing as it enters, so that he can easily walk into the big house or roll into the big house, and leads you to where every important meeting at Camp Half-Blood takes place, the rec room around a ping pong table. So he leads you all to this rec room and sits down there. Actually, as you look in, normally the rec room doesn't really have a whole lot of chairs seated around it, but it looks like a meeting of some kind has just finished because there's 15 to 20 different chairs all around the edge of the ping pong table. You see that there are half-eaten snacks just still sitting on the table. And sitting there is one shorter satyr with curly hair, no beard, completely clean-shaven face, starting to slowly clean up snacks, picking up like paper plates and just eating them. Most of you would recognize this to be Billy, the younger satyr who's been kind of taking over as Chiron's right-hand man around camp.
Hey, Billy. I'm gonna grab some snacks off the table that were left and just start. I had a big morning.
Yeah, I heard they were cheering all the way across the valley.
I beat my tie, got 7 seconds.
7? That isn't. Didn't Cadmus only reach like 8.9?
I know, right? What a loser.
What a fucking loser.
Fuck you.
I mean, Cad did do it on like his first week account, but he's judging.
You can't have your
Somewhere in like the
HTTP
underworld,
too.
Cadmus is like,
But
what the fuck?
Oh, okay. Children, please sit. And he sits down or moves his wheelchair to the head of the table where there was previously a gap for him. How are you guys arranging yourselves around the table with Chiron?
Zinnia
Max
just
is
gonna sit.
Max is gonna sit at the other head of the table.
Opposite him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right next to the nacho machine.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Just leans back to get nachos during the meeting.
To be clear, it's one of
He's
those
carbo loading.
Yeah, no worries. I
it's
got
one
it,
of those big
Chiron. Cool.
plastic dispensers that
Yeah.
you put like the little like paper boats under, and they fill with the nachos, and there's a little like pump thing for the cheese.
Oh, Jesus, that's so American.
It is. It's real American. Hey, I'm the only American here, and I'm the one setting up the campaign. Leave me alone.
Carbo loading. I had a big morning.
I sit next to.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna sit next to Zinnia, darling.
Okay, where does Zinnia sit?
They just sit at just the side of the table in one of the chairs.
Okay, so both of you just haphazardly seated. Jax, where are you sitting?
I'll sit opposite Zinnia.
Okay, so it's Chiron at the head, 3 people kind of a few seats down from him, and then Max all the way at the other end. Got you. Okay. And
Quest
Billy's still
leader, I
standing
gotta
there.
sit at the head of the table.
Oh, something I also forgot to mention earlier too. Zinnia's fully geared up in armor and has
Oh,
a
yeah.
weapon at
Good.
their side. And
What
normally
weapon is
new
it?
campers would feel it's a longsword. New campers you can tell because they're a bit like
Hero
uncomfy. They're constantly like shifting. They're not really used to it. Zinnia looks completely comfortable, and nothing to them has looked like a surprise yet, except for the cabins
And the Titan War stuff.
and the Titan War stuff.
So, we have not been idle over the last 6 months since the prophecy was made. Most of you should be familiar, and Zinnia, I read it to you earlier. We have been sending scouting parties to the prisons of several large serpents over the last 6 months, and there have been a few that we have not had our spirits return from. We take it that these will be the ones that Python and his forces are planning on unleashing. Last night, at around midnight, a camper, seer, had a vision of one of Python's allies, the Serpent Delphine, or Delphine, depending on... She goes by Delphine these days. Escaping her prison. 45 minutes after that, every major base in the Atlantic Ocean was attacked by Leviathans. Atlantis, the prison of Typhon, Camp Fishblood, all of them at the same time. The reason that we sent off young Nerida this morning and Perseus an hour before her was to lead quests to reclaim these places or assist in the battles that were taking place there. So, Max, that is why, unfortunately, your good friend was unable to make it to your record setting this morning. I sent her with a party of people who had completed a quest within the last 6 months and were quite familiar with Python and their tactics. I also required young Luke, child of Zeus, to accompany them, as there are sections of their quest that he will be needed for. Everyone on that group was chosen for a purpose. The 4 of you are to lead a quest also in the ocean, in the Atlantic, to a place that we have not had a quest led to in 3-4 years. There is a prison of a monster that we do not know if it will be joining Python's side in the coming war. Cicrydes is a massive flying serpent that lives on an island in the Sea of Monsters. Roll me a history check.
Crides. Yeah, can I also?
Sure, all of you. Anybody who wants to, make a history check.
I'm not good at history checks. No, I got an 8.
21.
Okay.
22.
26.
Okay.
What?
So everyone except Max would recognize the name. It's not a very popular myth. This is the myth of a flying serpent that used to actually, let me pull up my notes so I can give you all of the history you're supposed to have. Let's see here. Yes, this is a massive flying serpent that used to terrorize the Grecian city of Salamis before it was gifted by a demigod after they had tamed it and chained it to the goddess Demeter. After that, the myths don't really cover what happened to the serpent, but as Chiron is telling you now, it was imprisoned on an island. I wish for the four of you to lead a quest to go to this island, and if Cocrytus is not on the side of the gods, to combat this monster if you can.
Well, deaths, I guess.
So the four of us against Flying Serpent.
Yes.
Well, that should be fine. It worked out perfectly last time.
So you're saying there's a possibility that this thing is on our side?
Possibly. We've discovered that with Python's allies, they are less like the Titans. They are unlikely to be on each other's side simply because of their kinship. But more to have a loose alliance. We have discovered a few other prisons of other monsters. And we are hoping that not all serpents will side with the Ophiomaki.
We have something to offer them.
At the
Staying
moment,
on our side.
At the moment, that is the problem. I am currently in negotiations with Demeter to perhaps allow this monster freedom, but she has been unwilling thus far, citing caution.
Yeah, I
as
could
to if she were
understand
to-
that. Why?
But if we want to persuade a serpent to stay on our side, it would be helpful if we had something to offer them that was less attractive than their own freedom.
Do we have some giant flying mice?
We do not.
Oh, it's my idea shot.
Interesting.
So,
so
let me just. So, not to say, obviously we're very qualified for this mission, Carmen. Very honored. However, I just want to say, like, we're going to the Sea of Monsters and we're fighting a flying serpent. I can't help but think that a child of Zeus and a child of Poseidon would be real handy for this particular quest.
Would you like to know what they are fighting?
Certainly.
You see Chiron roll his chair past the three of you at the side of the table, up near Max, and there is a small hot plate next to the nacho machine that he turns on, and it begins to sizzle with a little bit of the leftover grease that was still on there. And he reaches over to the water fountain and pours some water onto the plate, which causes this small steam cloud to appear. And in the neon lights of the snack bar, forms a rainbow. He reaches into his pouch and pulls out a golden drachma, the currency of the immortal world. All of you are very familiar with drachma. And he flicks it into the rainbow. Oh, Iris, goddess of rainbow, show us the threat. And you see there that the Iris message, unlike the normal disc-shaped, cloudy image that would appear between two people if they wanted to speak to each other through an Iris message, the center of the steam cloud begins to almost pull in on itself, and it darkens and spreads outward, and you see almost pitch blackness. And then it takes your eyes a second of focusing to adjust. And you see that it's not blackness, it's just very, very dark. There is this open chasm where you can see currents and currents of water swirling over top of it. And lining this chasm, there are 7 blue spherical pearls, maybe anywhere between 1 to 3 meters large. And for a second, that's all you see, hearing the rumbling of water. And then there is a massive that echoes across the ocean floor. And you hear the earth and water begin to vibrate as you see glimpses through the currents of this creature larger than anything you've ever seen, perhaps maybe the glimpses of Typhon that those of you in the Titan War last summer would have seen. This is the prison of Cetus, one of the most famed leviathans in the entirety of Greek myth. And Python hopes to free Cetus. And you see Chiron waves his hand, and the iris message zooms in on one of the 7 pearls. And there are serpents swimming around it, anywhere between maybe a couple feet long to 20 meters long and 10 feet wide. And they're circling one of the pearls, and every once in a while, one of them will take their skull and swim maybe 40 feet away and lead up and boom, slam into the side of one of these pearls. And you can see where they hit, small cracks begin to form in the pearls. As their quest was quite urgent, and he wipes his hand through the illusion, breaking your guys' eye contact with it, I sent them off early this morning.
Okay. I see. I understand.
Now, as for your question about the children of Zeus, Talia and the Huntresses are currently leading another quest against another prison, and I required young Luke to go with the other adventure, as he is necessary for perhaps the restoration of some of these pearls. They were formed between the bond of Poseidon and Zeus. You will be on your own for this, heroes. We are spread too thin.
In that case,
I
you
will
can
send
count
what
on
help I
us.
can. Thank you, young Max. But this is one of the most important quests that will be issued this summer.
Dope.
Now that I have laid this quest out, do you accept the quest?
I accept the quest.
And he turns to each of the other members of the quest. Do each of you accept the quest?
Yes.
Morgan. As he says that, in your mind, there's just a little fact that you learned a few months ago. It was something that you hadn't realized during your first argument with Llewellyn, where you remember Llewellyn's never been on a quest. And cabin's seniority can go to whoever has completed the most quests.
Yeah. Seems like it'll be a fun opportunity.
Chiron turns his eyes towards you, Jax.
Well, at least I'll be able to give people the proper rights before they die. Sure.
We're gonna go in with a slightly different outlook than that. A little bit concerned that's where your head went straight away. We're not gonna die, guys, okay? Teamwork.
Yes.
Teamwork.
Question about teamwork. Haven't been properly introduced to our newest member.
Oh, I apologize. This is a new... We're going to say newcomer for now, though young Zinnia has knowledge outside of their experience.
Really?
You seem pretty at home with all this crazy stuff. Where were you before camp?
home in Mississippi.
Is there some kind of demigod settlement there?
No.
You just okay.
Which one of your parents is it?
Both of my parents are mortal.
That's confusing.
That's so interesting. Aren't you fun?
Regardless, there has been a request for young Zinnia to join this quest.
That's so
And-
wonderful that you've gone on a quest immediately. Some of us have been waiting here for forever. It's
7 years, yeah.
so long. Yeah, Max has been waiting 7 years, but aren't you lucky that you just turn up and get a quest immediately?
I've been on quests before.
Interesting. When was that? Before camp? Before in Mississippi?
Before. I just remember quests. Yeah,
Wow.
not a lot of them turned out great.
That must be why. Oh well, I'm sure with Max leading us, that we'll be fine. We have absolute.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, Morgan. That means a lot.
No worries, darling.
Billy, and you see Kyron turn to the side, and Billy, who has gathered all of the trash off the table at this point and is just halfway through a red Solo cup.
Billy, you shouldn't eat plastic. Here, have a can. And pass him a can of Diet Coke.
Oh, thank you. And he takes a bite out of it. Yes, Kyron? After you've finished that, please escort Max to Rachel's cavern. We will require a prophecy for this quest. I know you know your way, Max, but it is a bit of ceremony at this point. Even if I have been allowed to waive some of the ancient traditions due to a good argument given, we must still abide by some of them.
Okie doke. I'll see what Rachel thinks about that. She thinks I'm kind of annoying.
Yes, well,
I can hardly see why.
I kept
should be
hanging
fine
around
anyway.
her, hoping she'd like give me a prophecy. It didn't work.
I feel as though anyone who spends time with young Percy is able to withstand anyone.
Okie doke.
What? Yes, Morgan.
This might be a redundant question with a war that's going to come again, but does this mean my confinement period is over?
You're what? Who?
When you return from your quest, I will give you 1 day a week of leaving camp.
Excuse me?
That's. I guess I can work with that. One day a week
make
of
it
leaving
once
camp.
We could make it once a month.
Oh, we're gonna have fun, Chiron. Fine, once a week.
All right. The rest of you, if you will come with me, I shall make sure you have all of the supplies necessary. Max, is there anything you wish for from your cabin?
Oh, well, I gotta go get my bat.
I don't know why that was so funny. It was like, I gotta go get my bat.
Gotta go get. I mean, I didn't bring any of my stuff to the wall with me. I gotta go pick
Why
that
don't
up.
you give young Billy here a list, so that way when your companions are done gathering their things, you can all meet down at the beach.
Okay, Billy, at the foot of my bed, there's just everything already packed. You just pick it up and bring it here.
What about your clothes stuff?
It's all in the bag. Just bring. There's a bag, a big war club, and like 5 javelins. That's it. You just bring all that.
You need 5 javelins?
Well, I throw them. It's like, what if I lose them?
You go get it back?
But, you know, if I throw it at like a fire monster, then it's gonna burn up and I'm gonna be short a javelin. Billy, this is why you don't get deleted quests, okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go to Rachel's cave.
I'm sorry,
You seem
Billy.
really just very
I'm sorry,
sad.
Billy. Do you want some nachos? I'm just gonna... full of
I have
cheese.
this,
Max
and
just
he-
ended Billy's whole career.
Max unintentionally destroyed Billy.
So the rest of you, Kyron's going to lead you to each of your cabins to pick up your equipment that we've already talked about out of a game, and the rest of the supplies that you might need.
Oh, can I? Like when we get to the cabin of Hecate, Morgan is very much like, "You wait here. I'll go inside and grab it. You don't want to see the inside." She'll
Yeah.
walk inside. Inside is the most fucking Gucci ass cabin you've ever seen.
Yeah, the
Because
outside
the children of
looks like
Hecate.
a tiny shack that is like peeled paint already, and it's just got like a door on each side of the cabin, and it's like maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. And then when Morgan opens the door, you get just a little glimpse of the inside of the cabin, and it is this Victorian massive 2-story room on the inside with paintings and red velvet crushed red velvet furniture.
Just like there's a headcanon that I worked out that the inside is like the best cabin, but the children of Hecate pretend it sucks so no one will visit and no one will know.
Amazing.
And she, as she leaves, you just hear her go, "Oh, bite me, Llewellyn." Okay, we can go now.
So as the rest of you gather your things.
The Hercules. Can I just go into what I think the Hercules cabin looks like?
Sure, I mean you designed it, so
Yeah.
go for it.
So the Hercules cabin on the outside looks very classic, ancient Greek. It's got the pillars, like the tiled roof. It's almost like a slightly smaller version of the Zeus temple from the animated Disney film Hercules. And then inside, it's like a modern, very high quality gym.
And there's just one bed.
And then at the back, there's a bedroom. Yeah.
I like to
Exactly.
think that somewhere
Downstairs,
it's
we
like,
got the indoor pool. That's nice.
I like to think there's a poster of the Disney movie Hercules somewhere in that room, and Max's face
definitely.
is on it.
How did you know
I'm
there was a sword
on
under his
my
head?
way.
Hey, don't get us fucking taken down. No singing.
Except, yeah, in the center, instead of the statue of Zeus, it's a statue of Disney's Heracles. He's never seen his dad. Like, this is the best.
He just pulls out
It's
and
like,
thinks,
no,
"My dad's an action figure."
It's the version of Hercules. It's not like the one from the posters. It's the version where he's posing for the pot. So he's got the Nemean lion fur on and like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just full like animated with the cloak, with the sword. Jax, what does the Thanatos cabin look like?
Oh boy. So on the outside, it's made of like stone. No windows, a few pillars that kind of like arch over. And on the inside, it looks like a crypt
Yeah.
with like
So fucking edgy.
with stone indents into the wall, making like the bed as if it was like
How often do you hit your head on a morning?
not very. I'm touching it. And
So
yeah, it's dark, damp.
it's just a desolate, sad, damp place. It's like most teenage boys' bedrooms.
Yeah.
While
Smells
all of you
gross
are
in here.
going to the individual cabins, Max, you are led a ways away from the big house on a path that you have stalked many mornings, trying to get a quest, trying to spook Rachel into activating the weird green shit that comes out of her mouth.
Is Kyron with me?
No, Kyron went with the cabin with everyone else. Billy's
Okay.
with you.
Billy's with me. Billy? You know that girl Morgan?
Yeah.
This, like, house arrest deal she's on. Is that something I need to be worried about?
No. She just snuck out of camp a couple times, and Kyron told her that she wasn't allowed to leave camp without express permission, and one of the satyrs has to stay like within 20 feet of her at all points in time. I had that duty on Wednesday, and she just turned to me and made her eyes black and started speaking in demon tongue, and it was really scary.
Sounds fun. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not her fault that like she didn't know that The Conjuring is my favorite movie.
If it's your favorite, then why would it scare you?
Because don't you watch scary movies to get scared? That's the whole point.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Oh. I mean, you definitely watch one. Like, you have the Heracles poster in your room.
Hercules? And,
Sorry.
well, you know, we have movie night. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of social media attention from my dad. It was either the animated version or Dwayne Johnson, and I just,
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of family similarities between you and Dwayne Johnson, but you know, Mr. The Rock. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I think we're at the cave. And as you say that, you guys have just been absentmindedly walking, and he's stopped. And you look up, and you're in front of this like rock shelf that juts out of a side of the valley. And there's these two purple curtains that are closed with torches on either side of them, giving it a very mysterious and spooky vibe.
Oh yeah, this is cool. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go get your stuff. We'll meet you down at the beach in like.
All right. Yeah. Bye, Billy. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I'm leaving now.
Walk in.
And you just walk in?
What's the procedure?
The procedure is normally to ask before you enter someone's home.
Okay. Hey, Rachel. I promise I got sent this time.
Come on in.
Thank you.
And you step forward and you push between the two heavy curtains, and they've kind of kept the air from flowing in and out of this cave. And as you step in, it's like a nicely air-conditioned, like, studio apartment, basically, inside of the cave. It's totally normal walls. There's, like, a fridge on the back end with a little kitchenette.
Okay.
And it's got this open kitchen, like, living room floor plan. And seated, like, legs up on one side of a chair, with a massive paint canvas seated in her lap. She's got a tray of paints off to the side. You see this long, red-haired with like curly waves, girl who you've known for at least a year now. Her hair's pulled back behind her in a ponytail. The curly red ends fluffing out like a cone outward out of the back of her head. And her green eyes are staring down at this thing that she's painting, and she keeps leaning over and like wiping off her brush, hitting another color, and starting to just do paint while seated in the most comfortable position ever.
This is a nice place you got here. Do it like a Peloton or a Bowflex, but yeah, real good.
You said Kyron sent you this time.
Yeah,
So
I'm leading a quest.
Yeah, he had said that I'm gonna need to give quite a few prophecies in the next couple days.
Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're holding up.
I mean, I'd rather be out doing a protest somewhere, but this works.
Well, protesting some bad snakes.
Right. And she kind of like stands up, keeping her hand on one of the canvas pieces, and sits it down next to the chair. Do you look at what it is?
I'd take a little peek.
Okay. You see that pinned with a like paperclip to the top of the canvas, there is a small hand-drawn piece of paper with something on it that's too small for you to really look at. But the wider canvas is this like technicolor, beautiful scene of this massive island with jungles and trees all across it. And there's a huge mountain in the center of it. It looks almost like a dormant volcano of some kind. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Or investigation.
Oh, I'm no good at those.
I know, but this would be investigation.
That's an 11.
11? Okay, so you would see... Okay, this is just to see a couple of more obvious details. You see that there is a beach to this island. And standing on it, there are... It looks like originally there were 4, but Rachel seems to have taken a different color of paint and drawn a 5th figure on the beach. And in the sky, there's this faint line that's long with 6 lines coming off of it. Oh, don't mind this. I was working on some paint.
It's real pretty.
Yeah. It's actually based off of another piece that one of the other campers drew for me.
Oh, nice.
So, you here to get a prophecy?
Yep. That's why I'm here.
All right.
That's
Well,
why I'm here.
And she's gonna walk over to the side of the living room, and you see that there's like a large yoga mat laid out, and she sits cross-legged at one end of it and like pats the spot on the other side of it for you to sit.
I'm gonna very awkwardly sit cross-legged, with my very large form.
Yeah, you bring
Pretty
your
awkward.
massive calves underneath each other, just like, all right. You sit.
I'm not too
and there's
good
like
at
a
yoga.
squeak every time you move from your like super short shorts on the yoga mat.
They're not like lycra.
I don't know what you're wearing. So she puts out both of her palms. And as she does so, the lights that were in the cavern, which even though she's a very industrial, modern-looking apartment inside this cavern, the lights still come from these small torch sconces on the wall, all begin to dim. And the cavern becomes a little bit darker, a little bit creepier. You see shadows passing across her face and along the walls. And she opens her eyes, and instead of the vibrant green that they've been before, they are a dull, pulsating blue-green, glowing. Approach, Seeker, and ask. You smell this awful, musty smell begin to appear in the apartment. It's like cold and damp.
I have been quested to find Cacritus.
You shall see walls of stone strike and clash. Confront 6 Azure wings to comfort and thrash. With harvest's blessing upon barley prison, to sow seeds of allies' division. She leans over and just begins coughing. That does not taste better anytime you do it.
You okay? You want some water?
And she leans over and points at like a cup of water that
Let me
was
go
sitting
quick,
on
go.
the table.
You gonna get some water? Check it's not the one with paint in it.
It is very much, it has paint in it. Very
Okay,
much.
I'm gonna go get a fresh cup of water.
You look at that, you feel like you see, as you look down at the paint cup, you see a little bit of lipstick on the edge. You feel like it's not the first time she's accidentally drank out of her paint cup.
That's nasty. It's no good for you.
So you run over to her little kitchenette, grab a cup, fill it with water, you bring it back, and she thanks you as she nods her head. So what'd I say?
I
I'm
repeat
going-
the prophecy back to her.
I'm going to drop this in both the Undergods channel, and I will drop it in the Twitch stream for anybody who wants to read it. Give me just a
You
moment
said
while I
you
go.
shall see walls of stone strike and clash. Confront 6 azure wings to comfort or thrash. With harvest blessing upon barley prison to sow the seeds of allies' division.
Well, there's a lot less doom and gloom in that one.
It sounds promising, honestly. Doesn't sound like anyone's like guaranteed to die, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, whew. How's your day?
Pretty good. I broke the record in the climbing wall.
Oh, I heard everybody cheering earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 seconds. It was
Nice. That's like a whole second off.
yeah. Thanks.
So you have your prophecy.
Yeah, I should probably let you get back to it. Okay.
Yeah. That
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell Billy that we're done whenever you see him.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Walk. I don't like turn around at any point and just walk backwards out of the cave.
You see her, and as you are leaving the cave, she doesn't look at you. She just looks over at that painting and is just staring at it. And then looks back at you as you're leaving, and you see a light go off behind her eyes, and then just lets you keep going.
What?
She like has a moment where she like connects something there.
Okay. What does that have to do with me? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I head back to the group.
Okay. So you head down to.
Oh,
Long
I'm
Island
6'4",
Sound.
not 6'7". Sorry.
I could have fucking sworn you were only like 6'4". Could have sworn because I'm pretty sure Morgan is 6'3". Yeah.
No, aren't you
Which is-
6'3" in heels?
No, 6'3" without heels.
Oh, that's annoying.
It is annoying, right? So I want
Bernie and I
shout out.
with both. Bernie and I with our PCs both times in this campaign have said, make them tall.
I
Make
mean,
them very, very tall.
they might have been tall for you last campaign, but Cadmus is my height.
Yeah, and so is Callie. Callie is 6 foot, and so am I. Wow, look at this
Not Maya. It's fucking Zinnia is 5'7", but they're gonna look so short compared to
Yeah.
everyone else.
I was about to give you a shout out to being the one person
That's
who's like
small as well compared to the fucking beefcake.
Look, I don't think it's unreasonable for Max to be really big.
No, it's not.
So you leave Rachel's cavern and head towards the beach where you can see that Billy and the rest of your group is waiting. And that is going to go ahead and we're going to be where we're going to take our break for the show. We're going to be back in, let's say, 15 minutes at the 40 mark of the hour.
Okie doke.
Sound-
Nice.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Max.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. We'll be back in an hour. Hi, everybody!
How's it going, yo?
Hello, we're back.
Dungeons and
With episode one of
Demigods.
Dungeons and Demigods on Azure Wings. Hello, we're here. We're doing a good time. We're having a great time.
We're doing a good time.
Yes, we are here. We're back from our break. It is nice to see all of you. Brady, you sure we went back already?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
Positive.
we're back.
Oh,
We're
okay.
back.
For some reason, my stream isn't showing it. Anyway.
Refresh.
Anyway, I'm refreshing. Anyway, to recap the first episode, if any of you joined us over the break, the first half of the first episode, that's what we're doing. We have 4 disparate demigods who have come together because Chiron, leader of Camp Halfblood, has requested that they lead a quest to the Sea of Monsters to find a large serpent living on an island dedicated to Demeter, because they are trying to stop the rising of serpents, also known as the Ophiomachy, which seems to be the next threat to Olympus on the horizon. Young Max, son of Hercules and leader of this quest, has just been gifted his prophecy and is headed down to the beach of Long Island Sound to meet up with the rest of his group. But we are going to go ahead and take a minute and zoom on over to that group of demigods waiting at the beach. Chiron has left you at this point, and the 3 of you stand there on the beaches, listening to the gentle lapping of water. Are you guys doing anything in particular?
I have my knife.
Mhm.
My throwing dagger. It's kind of like a nearby tree, possibly near the shoreline.
Okay. So you're just playing with your knife at this point?
Is there a nearby tree near the shoreline?
At the shoreline, no, but you also know that throwing things at trees at Camp Half-Blood is a bad idea because the trees have spirits that can beat you
Yeah.
with sticks.
Also, your dagger will end up getting stolen by a cleaning harpy.
Fuck it. I'm gonna just write my initials in the sand under a gravestone.
Get edgy as shit. Morgan is standing by Zinnia, watching this occur, and then kind of turns to her. And I've said every time that Zinnia talks, Morgan does this, like an owl. Whoop. She just kind of turns to go, "Oh, this isn't your first quest."
Hello?
You didn't
No.
talk for that one, sorry.
No, I've been on quests.
How old
I
were you?
remember them. Sometimes
You remember
I was really
quests?
young. Sometimes I was older. It's a bit jumbled.
Morgan's gonna kind of look at your face, like peer in slightly. Have the most interesting features. Has anyone ever told you that?
Yeah, it's like a lot of recessive genes, I've been told. It's like my parents must have like won the lottery with like genetics because
Yes, a lot of genes just mixed in together, like a painting.
yes. Or like I like gardening, so I probably like a garden bed.
Like a garden with flowers growing in it of all different kinds, just all collected together. And you really have no idea who your godly parent is?
Well, parents.
Two mortal parents, interesting features, and memories of quests that you've been on.
I'm curious.
Well, I did meet Karen did have me meet someone because Karen thought I was dead. Nico D'Angelo.
Oh, you met the Hades boy.
Jax.
He said,
He's fun, isn't he?
Jax there, I feel like had a particular reaction. How was that, real quick?
I kind of like. Well, I immediately got up as I heard the name. I was like, the Hades.
I'm of the underworld, apparently.
Jax has a crush on Nico, confirmed.
Aww.
That's adorable.
No. From the underworld. Where?
It said my soul was from the underworld.
And that is when I will use whatever abilities I have to shepherd of the afterlife to look
Okay.
into.
Yeah, you take a moment and concentrate on the divine magics of your father. And normally it's pretty easy to detect undead, ghosts, things like that around you. And Zinnia doesn't proc that. They feel interesting. Like everyone's souls kind of appear to you when you do this ability, but they don't feel dead. They're very alive. If anything, they're like one of the more fresh souls that you've met.
Ah,
People
Also,
have been
what are
asking me that a
your,
lot lately.
what are your vulnerabilities, resistances, and immunities?
Well, you get first of all, you get to learn one at a time.
Yeah, I'm learning them. I'm inspecting them for a while.
Okay, valid. Zinnia, do you have any particular resistances, immunities, or vulnerabilities at the moment?
Not
Okay.
the
There are no immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities for you to find.
Curious and curious. Where'd you say you're from again?
Mississippi.
I see a hand raised.
I make an intelligence roll to make an educated guess.
Sure, go for it. Go for it.
It's just a straight intelligence roll, right?
Straight int. Just your int plus a d20.
Cool. I got... Math is hard, children. 24.
24. So as they're having this conversation, you're starting to take together the clues. Jax hasn't had an overly negative reaction to this person, so they're not dead. But Nico, one of the more mysterious figures around camp, because he only appears every once in a while, said that they're of the underworld. There are several deities and spirits associated with the underworld. You know they have two mortal parents, and they seem to be telling the truth when they said that. So it seems odd that they would lie about such a thing. Legacies are a thing you're aware of, but you're not sure if this person is that. Overall, you don't really know what's going on here.
Well, we shall have plenty of time to get to know each other on this quest. Jax, you and I. It'll be close quarters. We'll be learning about each other so much. It'll be a wonderful experience. Trust me.
Trust us.
As you guys are having this conversation, you see Max beginning to crest the small hill that leads down into the beach. His pack having been left by Billy near you all.
How is it possible to have a basilisk the size of a big man?
Yeah, at the floor next to his bag, there is a solid 5.5 foot long wooden club with studs of bronze that have been hammered into it down the edge in nice little rows. Out the bottom of the base, because it's hard to call it a pommel, is this fang that almost hooks outwards. That Morgan, you were actually there when
Morgan has her own.
Because you received a similar item, the Hydra Fang, that is attached to the bottom of his club.
I love that he has it in his club.
So, Max, you've now crested the hill, and you can see the rest of your friends all kind of just standing there, arms crossed, waiting at the beach.
Hey,
Morgan,
everyone. Is everyone getting to know each other?
Yes, we're bonding like good friends.
Terrific. Well, I hope you haven't bonded too much without me. He's gonna put his bag on and get his club. And so I got the prophecy.
Really?
Yep.
What is it?
So he's gonna really close his eyes real hard. You shall see walls of stone strike and clash. Confront 6 azure wings to comfort or thrash, with harvest's blessing upon barley prison to sow the seeds of allies' division.
Interesting.
Oh. That seems fun.
Well, it doesn't seem too bad. There's no one's prophesied to die.
I mean, does any
No one was prophesied to
really
die
feel
in the other
good?
one. Yes,
Sorry.
the other prophecy didn't say anyone was going to die, and we're down 2 Hades kids now.
Well, only one of those died. Anyway, let's just move on. Okay, so I know some of us have met before, but I think it's good that we have like a little just team get together and get to know each other a little bit before we head out. I'm Max. I'm your quest leader. Maximus Armstrong. I'm a son of Hercules. He prefers Hercules. He doesn't like the name Heracles too much, so we go by Hercules. I like working out. Okay, you next. And he points at Jax.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jackson Copper.
Hi, Jackson Copper. He's gonna let everyone around.
Jackson Copper.
I'm a child of Thanatos, god of death. There's not many things I like. Like, I like music. I like writing music. That's pretty cool, I guess.
Oh, it's real cool.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like to write?
Bit of metal here and there, some rock. But,
Okay.
With hanging out with like some of the Apollo kids, I've gotten to know some other types and begin working on some other songs. I don't know. Morgan.
Morgan, if you'd like to go next.
I'm just updating Morgan's secrets document.
Plays bass.
He plays bass? Cool. Plays bass. Don't worry about it.
Secrets. Plays
It's
bass.
totally
No
fine.
one's allowed to know.
Don't want to let them know.
It's just nice to know things about each other, isn't it? Morgan, guys. Hello. I'm Morgan.
Hi, Morgan Petrov.
Hi, Morgan Petrov.
Only Zinnia. Only Zinnia.
Hi. It's good. This is going. It's going immaculately. I'm a child of Hecate. I like long walks on the beach and listening to jazz in the evening.
That sounds real nice.
God, basic.
It is. It so is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zinnia, your newest member of our little team here.
Yeah, hi. I'm Zinnia Nye.
Hi, Zinnia Nye.
Hi,
Zinnia.
I just got here today because I remembered it, and I like gardening, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, fantastic.
Insight check. Does she like God?
Hey, we insight check everybody.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Make an insight check, Jax.
No.
Does she really like gardening?
I rolled a 10. Rolled a 10.
You have no
really like
idea if
gardening.
they like gardening at all. They are a complete mystery to you.
Suspicious.
Jax is not insightful. he
Wait, we didn't ask. Do any of you listen to Girl in Red? Do any of you listen to Mother Mother?
Do any of you listen to Sweater Weather?
Yeah. Does anyone listen to Sweater Weather in this group?
I haven't put a lot of thought into that
obviously.
question for Max.
It's probably on my playlist.
And you don't have to. I don't think Max has put a whole lot of thought into that question, to be honest.
Zinnia listens to Girl in Red and Mother Mother.
It's probably on Jack's
So does
playlist
Morgan.
deep down.
Hey!
Yes!
So are any of you doing anything? You're just now kind of all standing on
So
a
where?
beach.
Yeah, we're on the Long Island Sound.
Yeah.
You say Chiron was there?
No, Kyron left you guys on the beach. He just assumed that since you're going on an ocean voyage, you would leave from the beach.
Okay, is there a boat anywhere?
Well, the camp has a canoe shack at the lake.
Oh my god.
Just dropped us off at the beach, like, yeah, okay, start swimming. What?
Peace out!
Where are we even going?
We're going to the Sea of Monsters.
Cool, where is that from here?
I know where that is, right? It's like,
Yeah, Sea of Monsters is like Bermuda Triangle.
yeah.
Widely known fact.
But I know where that is in relation, to the real world.
South. Yes.
Yes.
Southeast on the coast, Florida area.
Yeah. So we gotta go head down to the Florida area. Probably be nice to get a boat. Yes,
Well,
Jax?
does anybody have a boat?
I don't believe so. Does anyone have a boat here?
I have
Zinnia.
one, but not here.
When Jax asks if... Wait, what the fuck does that mean? You have one, but not... Oh, I remember now. Okay, got you.
So her backstory is a pirate.
When Jax asks if anyone has a boat, there is a moment where you think about it for a second. You remember being on a ship, sailing somewhere. And then, without even thinking about it, you begin to walk towards the water.
I don't think we can swim that.
I think it's a little far for us to be swimming. But I admire your initiative.
We're taking a boat. I remember how to sail.
And
Okay.
you walk, and you get right to the edge of the water, and you don't stop, and you can feel the water sink into your shoes as you walk, the cold of the sound beginning to wash over. You get about ankle deep in the water,
I'm a little concerned.
and you raise one hand outward. And the rest of you would see that as Zinnia is standing there, kind of a vacant expression on their face as they're looking down towards the water, but their hand is outward. You see that in front of them in the water, there is this faint glow of purple that begins to slowly snake its way across the sea. And the water in that glow begins to shift in a different current. Instead of being the green of the ocean, it's like this light blue purple that is flowing. And above Zinnia's head, you see 3 wavy lines begin to appear in a holographic image. This symbol that I think only Morgan would recognize. Actually, no, Jax would probably recognize this as well. Is a very unused symbol in Greek mythology, but it represents one of the 5 rivers of the underworld, the Lethe. And as Zinnia raises their hand upward, you see that there is a shift in the waters of this river that is in an ocean. And something begins to poke out of the water, maybe 20 feet out. Looks like a post maybe that wide, and it begins to breach the top of the water, becoming wider, expanding. As it goes down, you see 1, 2 posts now raising out of the water. And after a moment, water splashing off of the edges, the wood of it sea rotted and broken and mushy in places, large patches of algae and seaweed crawling off the sides of it. There is a dilapidated trireme, multiple decks with multiple layers of oars.
You're the child of Ghost Boat God?
We're all going to die on this quest.
100%.
Morgan looks over at Jax and is like, is she, underworld? Is she? Are they, are they from the underworld?
They look fresh.
It's-
Fresh soul.
Okay, does that look like claiming, or does it look like a favor?
Yes, it looks like both. You've seen this a couple of times with a couple other quests where gods will choose to make an entrance while claiming someone and gift them something, and it seems that this particular demigod has been gifted a rotting old-ass boat.
Well, guys, looks like our ride's here. He's gonna just...
It's close enough to shore that if you wanted to, you could throw a rope over and climb up into the trireme if you'd like.
Max is swimming.
Max is so... Okay. So Max gets about waist deep in water, and then realizes he can just walk over to the ladder that is there. Unless you want him to dive in the 3 feet of water.
Technically, Max can swim faster than he can walk in the water.
That's valid. That's valid. So Max dives in the 3 feet of water that's on the sandbank, doing that thing that you do like a kid at a pool, where it's only like 2 feet of water, but you're still swimming under anyway. And he makes it to the side of the ship where there is this rotting rope bridge, or rope ladder that not bridge, ladder that is kind of hanging off of one end of the ship.
I'm not so sure this will take my weight.
And you pull on it once, and it seems to hold.
Okay, I'm gonna try and climb up.
You get about 4 rings up.
Oh, God damn it.
And the wet rope just breaks itself.
Yeah, holy Hera.
Back in the water.
Alright, how far up is the top deck?
Maybe 7 feet.
And I can stand up here?
Off the water, so you're like 4 feet below it.
Can I try and just vault up? Pull myself up
Make
onto
me
the
an
deck?
athletics check. Not at disadvantage because you have a swim speed.
Okay. That's a 28.
Plus 10, that's so stupid. So yeah, you see Max like splash back down in the water, catching himself drenched wet, and he looks at the ladder, tosses it back, rubs the hand together, and just vertical leap, grasps onto the edge, and pulls his weight over the edge of the ship in one smooth motion.
And then he's just gonna toss a rope for everyone else.
Senior will climb it.
Morgan is gonna wait back and just look at Jax for a moment and kind of smile and goes, "Oh, 3 children of the underworld.
Charming. Going to be a great trip.
After you.
Thanks.
This is going to be fun."
I'll secure my backpack, make sure my cane is strapped to my side.
Mhm.
Kinda
The
look
normal way
forward
to hold a
second.
cane.
Yeah, strapped to the side.
Sheathed.
Sheathed cane.
She's the cane!
Well,
Listen, if you
I've
cast breath
my
there, you
sword
sheath
on my
your
back
cane.
and my shield there. Alright, I'm just hands free. I look to Morgan for a second. I look back, and I'm just going to use minor shadow travel / misty step
Yep.
to just boom onto the boat.
Yeah, so you prepare, you take 1 step towards the water, and right before your foot hits the top of the water, you look back at Morgan and wink, and just shadows capture you, and you appear at the top of the boat. Completely dry. Though as you land, you feel the waterboarded wood of the ship bow and under your feet, and there's like slight puddling around it where you're pressing the water out of the wood.
I think we should get a new boat before we go into the Sea of Monsters.
Yeah.
Is there a mast on this boat?
There are 2 masts, yes.
Yeah, it's a trireme.
Or Jax, sorry, you were saying, I interrupted you.
No.
Oh,
It's gonna be like one wave, and this boat is gone. 1 wave. I'm guaranteed.
Morgan is going to watch Jax wink a misty step and go, "Oh, that's adorable." And is going to misty step to the mast and look down, and everybody was like, "We're going soon."
But
So
when Jax gets onto the deck, before anyone else comes up, Max is just going to go up to him and be like, "Hey, I don't want to look stupid in front of Morgan. What was that symbol above Zinnia's head? Who was that for?"
What's the symbol for? Just to confirm, as
Levy. River Levy.
Yeah, the Levy.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof, I
You
didn't.
recognize that as one of the 5 rivers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know those could get down with mortals.
So, I I don't think it did. They've got 2 mortal parents.
That's we'll unpack that later. Okay.
I think they would birth from the river. Don't think about it too hard. I think your brain's gonna burst.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Would Zinnia have recognized the symbol? Zinnia would have recognized
Zinnia
the
didn't
symbol.
see it. Zinnia was too entranced in bringing this boat forward. In fact, Zinnia, you still stand there. There's a boat. Your friends are getting on it, and you look down at your hands, and they feel normal. You remember this boat. You and your friends used to sail in this boat a lot. You do not at the moment. Also, you didn't proc for any of that. I just read your lips.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Is this the
It was
Argo?
telling me I was property.
What'd you
Is this
say?
Is this the Argo?
So the thing is, right? You don't know, and Zinnia doesn't know either if it is or not. It could be a different ship. There are plenty of famous ships in Greek lore.
Okay.
You should read up on your
Well,
history.
Zinnia is gonna climb aboard the
Okay,
boat.
are you going via the rope that
Yeah. I don't have any cool teleport magic.
To clarify, Max, did you drop the rope over the land part of the boat or the ocean part of the boat?
The land part?
Okay, just making sure that Zinnia wasn't gonna have to get wet socks. Now that all of you are up on the boat, it seems waterboarded and not safe, but also ready to set sail. You see the sails are there, but they're drenched in water, ready to be pulled up. But you also look around and realize I don't think any of you have proficiency in water vehicles.
No.
I can give myself
No.
proficiency in water vehicles.
And triremes also require a ton.
I
of people.
would have
Okay.
done some of the naval battles.
You would have, which all the naval battles were done in canoes.
True.
They were on the lake.
True.
They weren't in the sound.
Okay.
No.
I've also been hanging out with Nerida a lot.
You haven't. You know what? Valid. Well, you're on your way to getting a proficiency in it. That's fair.
I'm going to use Abandoned Mastery to
Okay.
give myself proficiency in water vehicles for an hour.
Okay. So as you look around this boat, you kind of put your hands out to either side and are trying to imagine yourself running this boat. And you don't have the memories of anyone who would have been in command of any of these kinds of vessels, but you remember people who have gone through and they've run the ropes, they've steered the ship, and you know that you can get this boat into the ocean off the sound, but control out there is going to be real hard without a crew of people paddling.
We need people paddling.
How many?
Anywhere between like 30 to like 90. There's 3 rows worth of benches on either side that layer on either side of this trireme.
Don't suppose that we could summon some ghostly sailors for this ghostly ship?
You're just assuming from the because we're from the underworld, we know how to summon
I'm
ghostly
dumb.
sailors.
I'm dumb.
No, I would assume
I'm
the
dumb.
person who can summon a ghostly ship can summon a crew for it, maybe?
I'm going to cast Control Water.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
let's
I'll
get
let
the
you
boat
do
moving.
that. Okay, so you have proficiency in water vehicles. With the
Mhm.
control water spell, you all feel the boat begin to drift out from into sea, and you can see that around the edges of the boat, the waves are all pushing in a specific direction that aren't necessarily synchronous with the rest of the ocean.
How wide is the boat?
The boat is about 20 feet wide.
So there's nowhere on this boat where I could sit in the middle and have an oar in each hand.
Down in the bottom rows, if you wanted to rip one of the benches off the wall, which is easy enough to do with the wood rotting, and move it, you might be able to do that, and I would say Max could probably paddle for the equivalent of like 5 people.
We won't be moving fast.
Oh, we're moving, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, Max is gonna be like, okay, so Zinnia, it's your boat, so you're gonna be in charge of piloting it. I will be down in the decks, and I will be rowing. And yeah, go team. We're gonna be going south. Okay.
Are we going to be taking this boat the entire way back?
I don't. Well, we'll get to Florida and we'll see how it goes.
We'll get to Florida and see how it goes.
What?
Cool.
We just go and there are like ducks overtaking us.
How fast does control water take us?
So
We also have a sail. Like
You do have a
the
sail.
rowing is for when you're in a river, and then once you're out at sea, you don't row so much.
Yeah, it's mostly once it gets real bad out there and you have to bring in your sails, the only control you have is the rowing. Let me see here. So with redirect flow, I would say that in the 10 minutes that it lasts, you could probably, using all of you guys together, could get out of the Sound and out to open ocean.
I don't suppose you've got any magic, Morgan, that could possibly make us go a little quicker? Like, can you make some wind happen, or... I don't mean to assume, I just wonder if you've got anything.
I don't really have wind magic. I'm more of a less support caster.
Oh boy, we have to support.
Max, dear, how important is it to you that we get there soon?
Well, I feel like we shouldn't waste time, but also we should make sure we're all safe.
Right. You know what? I might have something that could help. And Morgan is going to summon that dark green energy around her hands again, and it just flows down her body into the floorboards and into a pool onto those rotting floorboards, and she's going to use Summon Shadow Spawn.
Okay. Cool. So, as you, first of all, which emotion are you picking?
Oh god, it has emotions!
Helpful. The helpful emotion. Cheerful.
I choose the No, I don't choose the aggressive emotion. Just googling what Summon Shadow Spawn's emotions are.
Cheerful.
Fury, despair, and fear.
Happy.
I'll go with cheery.
That one's not an option. Fury, despair, or fear.
I'm going cheery. Let's choose.
Hungry. Melancholy.
Well, despair or fear. I'm very good with fear. Let's try that.
Okay. So as you focus your hands, this green energy curling off the edge of your fingers, and you bring it downward, creating this trail between you and this small puddle on the boat of this green and black, roiling, flowing energy. Slowly, just like the boat had breached the water earlier, you see this pale head begin to appear out of the puddle. This creature that looks almost like a skeleton, but it's misshapen and warped, and there's this parchment-thin skin that is pasted to its body, and it's pale and naked and awful. And you look at it, and its eyes open, and they are just empty sockets. And it looks at you.
Well, that is truly horrifying.
Hello,
Great
sweetie,
job.
I've missed you. Oh, so pretty. I'm so sorry it's been long since I summoned you. You know what the camp says about summoning Shadow Spawn in the middle of practice? Oh. It's so sweet. Oh, Listen,
You see
listen,
it
my
turn
darling.
and almost like blush. It's just.
Listen, my darling. We need some help to row this boat. Could you help us? I know you're so very good at things, and I'm lacking in the strengths department a bit. Thank you, sweetie.
And it's just going to turn. Oh my God, sorry. It's going to turn and it walks to the edge of the boat where there is a small set of stairs that lead down to the first deck. Max, as you are down there, you've been getting your oars ready, and you turn and there's just this haunting creature.
No, I was up on top. I was talking to
Oh,
Morgan.
I thought you were gonna go.
I'm gonna do that after. I was talking to Morgan about possible ways we could speed the boat
Well,
up.
none of you would see where this goes, but you do see Max as you're standing there. One oar just slots itself out of the side of the ship and begins to.
We start slowly spinning.
It can only do so much. It's one creature with a strength of 13.
That's.
That's Mordred.
You know, I just want to.
Be nice to them.
I want to just take a moment and say I'm feeling really good about this team. That was. I gotta say that was deeply disturbing. I'm definitely gonna have nightmares about it, but it was also really impressive.
Oh, thank you, Max. And don't worry, you won't have nightmares. I'm very good with that.
I don't know what that means. Anyway.
I do.
Oh, you'll only have nightmares if I want you to. You're fine.
I'm learning lots of things really quickly. It's a lot to take in one day. Yeah, we should just get out there, make the best of the day, and hopefully pretty soon we can trade up off of this boat. Maybe something with an engine.
Welcome to the crew of the underworld, Max.
Thank you.
Max is like, what the fuck have I got myself into?
This is really not at all what Max had in his head. In the In the 7 years he's been waiting for a quest and fantasizing about leading his own quest, this is not what he had in mind.
You know, bunch of Ares and Achilles kids, being like, yeah, we're going to follow Max, but then you get fucking two goths and a memory, bitch.
2 goths and a cottagecore.
Okay. So
use pieces of the past to try and find out more about the boat.
Okay, give me just a moment. I'm ready.
But everyone just, support Zinnia knows how to make the boat go, I assume. So just listen to Zinnia. And I'll be below decks on the oars.
Good job, Max.
Thank you.
Down, and there's just this no muscles, skin to bone creature rowing, and it looks back at you and just.
Hi there. Hi there, Mordred. My name's Maximus Armstrong. It's good to meet you. I'm leading this quest, and Oh, thank you. And he shakes his hand.
It feels like. It's oddly, it feels like when you have like a chicken leg and there's flesh that gets seared to the bone that you don't eat because it's and if you peel it with your teeth it's like paper. That's what it feels like, the whole hand.
Okay, he just shakes his hand.
We've seen who the 5th figure is in Rachel's painting.
Right. So thank you, Mordred. I'm still gonna put a bench in the middle. I'm gonna make it so my right arm, my dominant arm, is on the side that Mordred isn't.
Yep, that makes sense.
So
that's 6 people worth of rowing. That'll get you a speed nowhere near the top speed of this boat.
Sure, but it'll get us out of the Long Island Sound to where we can use the sail.
Between you, Mordred, the control water, Jax, Zinnia, if the two of you want to raise the sails, because Zinnia, for an hour, you still have proficiency in boats. Yeah. If you want to raise the sails and get that going. Yeah, okay. So all of you together can easily get you out of the sound in the 10 minutes the control water takes. Past that, you guys start headed south and make decent progress for the first hour. But near the end of the first hour, Zinnia, you feel this ringing in your ears as suddenly all those memories about riding this boat just start to fade away and feel like something that happened a really, really long time ago, and you lose proficiency in water vehicles. And Max, you're rowing, and go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw, just because you're rowing for a solid hour.
Oh, not a Constitution saving throw. I'm so bad at those. 20. Unnatural.
What's your modifier for that again?
+8.
I hate you. Okay. So you're just, it's a good workout. You're getting all of the upper body today.
So I did, because I didn't work out today because I was going for the climbing wall, so this is great.
Even at one point, you like stand up off your bench and start using your full body, getting squats in while you're rowing, just doing the whole thing. And after about an hour, you hear, and you look and you see Mordred has dropped their oar and has like pulled it in so it won't fall out of the boat. And Mordred looks at you.
I'll catch you later. I'll catch you later, Mordred. Good hanging out.
And it turns and starts walking towards the wall of the boat, finds its way to the window, and just flops out.
Oh, I hope he's okay. Okay, let's keep going.
Somewhere outside, you guys hear a distant splash, and Morgan, you feel your spell give out.
Good job, sweetie.
Charming friends you keep, Morgan.
After the first hour, you guys have the sails set, but really no way to control the boat.
Isn't there a wheel?
Not on a trireme. It's all at the back. It's like a larger rudder thing.
Okay, in that case, once I'm done with the rowing and we're dependent on the sail, Max is gonna get on the rudder.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check for Max.
I'm not good at those.
I know, but you're not making a disadvantage because
17.
you've been hanging out with Dota.
Wait, no, 16.
So you do manage to figure it out, and you start to steer, and you guys tentatively have left camp and are on the open oceans. Who here has not been on the ocean before, like properly, like the open ocean, their characters? Can all of you roll me a Constitution saving throw?
$18.
Well,
Okay. With Jackson Zinnia, it is close, but all of you managed to keep that ocean nausea away from the constant rocking of the boat as it creaks and moves with the waves side to side. It's a little tough for those of you who haven't been on the open ocean before, but Morgan's sitting pretty. Something that would have come up in the first hour is there is nowhere dry to sit on this boat. Everything is soaked through with water.
1 second. 1 second. I don't know if I did this. I did not. Damn it. This is why you always choose the extra spells.
So every time you guys have sat down, it's just left like that round, wet, like spot on your pants that happened, and it is not comfortable.
I'm gonna give myself abandoned mastery again for another hour.
For another hour? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with another hour of abandoned mastery, being able to tell Max exactly how to move the ship, giving Jackson Morgan the proper instructions on bringing down or changing sails. Max, can you roll me a d10? Morgan, can you roll me a d10?
I see how it is.
Oh, I just picked him at random.
2.
You did it at the beginning of the episode. 2? Okay.
3.
2 and 3? Okay.
Uh-oh.
So for the rest of the day, and we're going to say that if you would like to, Zinnia, you can burn the rest of your abandoned masteries to keep you sailing for the rest of essentially what is from noon until dusk.
Yeah.
You guys have clear skies and empty ocean. No encounters of any kind for that day. One of the things is, even though you are proficient with boats, I don't think any of you have proficiency in navigation equipment.
I mean, I know how to go south.
You know how to go south. I'm asking this very specifically. Do any of you have proficiency in navigation equipment?
No.
Okay. So, okay. Let me just pull something up in my notes.
Oh, I don't like that.
Don't you guys just fucking love D&D?
Couldn't we have just taken an Uber to the Bermuda Triangle?
We could
All
have
split-
taken an
split
Uber.
I know Kyron just
Wait,
dropped us
there's
off on the
submarine.
beach and expected us to
Yeah,
go
we
from there.
We could have went to Florida on foot, or like.
Could have got on a
transport.
flight or
Yeah.
Okay.
rode a
We could've-
Pegasus.
Oh my god!
Like, hey,
I
let's
can't
go to the
believe it.
beach and get a fucking crickety old boat.
Let's ride a fucking ghost ship.
So having come off of Long Island Sound, Jax, can you roll me a D12?
Okay. 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of the day, you guys can choose whether or not to keep your boat going through the night, or anchor it, or go to shore.
Can we see the shore?
You can see the shore. You've been keeping pretty close to the shoreline thus far.
How much
You've seen
progress
the
have we
occasional
made
events.
along the shoreline?
None of you are proficient in navigation equipment. You've seen the shoreline go by. You don't know
As in, can
necessarily how far
we
you've gone.
haven't passed by the fucking New York skyline, have we?
Oh, you've passed New York skyline at this point. In a
Okay.
day, you can definitely have done that. That's a crisp can open. That was
oh, someone
ASMR.
else here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was
just
good. You
I'm
passed
just-
New York probably 2-3 hours ago.
Okay, I'm just thinking, would we make better time over land?
It depends. You have not yet run out into any monsters here, which you would be running into monsters pretty often on land.
True.
Take our chance with
Max
monsters,
isn't
or
afraid
take
of
our chance on a boat.
monsters.
It's also true. That's up to you guys.
Hey
I'm just
everyone,
asking you-
team meeting. Huddle up, guys. How you doing? Can I check in? It's been a long day.
I'm cold, wet, and a little nauseous.
Yeah, all those things. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. The boat. We're so grateful for the boat, Zinnia. It's fantastic. However, it's also a little bit from the underworld and wet and rotting, and none of us know how to sail it.
Yeah.
This isn't in character laughing. I just wonder, and I wanted to put the decision out to the group. Would we make better time on land? How would y'all feel about traveling over land instead?
Well, we take our chance. Don't know what things would be hunting us if we are to go on land. Don't know what things are hunting us out here either, but
Well, you're also minor god, so.
I also have
Might be
monster
less
spray.
interested. Oh yes.
We need to go out to the Sea of Monsters anyway, but we could probably find a better boat.
we need a better boat. There's no way this is making it to the Bermuda.
Aesthetically, it's charming, but practicality-wise,
That is a word.
that is a word.
So did I find out what
Oh,
the boat was?
So with you being the only one with proficiency in sailing, you would have been the only person who had to be spending all of your time on the boat. With this decision, you could take time to do your ritual now and learn, but you would have had to have been in charge of everything essentially on top of the boat.
Okay.
For the last few hours. So if you'd like to do it now, you could.
Sure, I'm curious.
Okay. So you're going to take the 10 minutes to do this while the rest of them are having this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just
So you got
they're
10.
zoning out. They're not paying attention.
Okay.
All of you to assume.
Morgan is always paying attention.
Morgan is
Everyone,
always
every
paying
time,
attention.
all the things.
Just like again, this 180 owl head turn of whoop.
What do you do with that?
What are you doing? What are you doing over there? Magic? Is that a little bit of magic you doing there? Is it a little magic?
But yeah, I'll be engaging with Max in this conversation.
So then
Figuring out
maybe
what's
we
the
should
best.
continue until we find somewhere with like a port, like a harbor.
Are we going to sail? Are we going to sail this boat into the port? Because that's going to raise a couple questions.
Well, I mean the mortals will probably just see a regular rickety old boat.
Yes, that will still raise questions.
Especially.
Unless we pretend we're like a LARP group or something like that.
Well, I mean, I doubt the mortals will see a trireme.
Well, they won't see a trireme, but they will see a rickety boat sailing into the harbour. And harbour means we have to register the boat. Harbour means questions, and questions we may not be equipped to answer.
These are all great points. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I say we abandon the boat.
The plan I had in mind was a little less honest. I'm gonna be honest. It was more we sail somewhere, we abandon the boat, and we acquire another one.
Acquire.
Max, are you suggesting we steal a boat?
I believe the word is commandeer. I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean.
Why are you speaking our language?
Well, I figure, you know, we're trying to save the world.
I can get us a boat.
So the ends justify the means sort of deal. So it doesn't matter if we steal a boat from someone if we get to save the world.
Good outweigh the bad.
As they're having this conversation, Zinnia, you have walked over to the kind of banister like side of the boat, and you've taken both your hands and just placed them on the boat, and you've leaned over almost like someone would if they were trying to like see outward on the outer sides of the boat. And you take time and slow your breathing, and as you do so, flashes, images begin to go through your head. You see men and women in armor, breastplates, greaves, leg protectors, sandals, walking up and down the sides of the boat. You see people with almost like burlap sacks walking back and forth, moving goods. And then for a second, you hold on to a little bit of information. As you begin to look around, you see that there used to be two eyes on the front of the boat that were painted there, a tradition for Greek vessels, but have since faded away with time. And directly to the side of that, there was painted in Grecian letters, Anaskion, which roughly translates to the Shadow Rider, or Rider of Shadows. And that's something that keeps in your brain. And that's the information you would get from your Pieces of the Past ability.
Well, it's been a trusted vessel to get us this far. If we don't need it, we don't need it.
Shadow Rider.
Does Zinnia share this information with the rest of us?
I don't know. Does Zinnia share this? Oh, there you go, yeah.
Interesting. Thanks, Zinnia.
Open secret notepad.
Secret notepad! Here we go!
Shadow. Can I do a history check on the Shadow Rider?
Well,
like
I
I've
cannot, because Zinnia hasn't shared this information.
Oh,
right?
I thought she had. Sorry.
No, they haven't shared it at all.
Oh, they had. Sorry.
That's all good.
Oh. We come to a decision. We ditch the boat somewhere, go to a nearby harbour. Max will steal us a boat, I suppose?
Still the question of no one knows how to drive a boat. I can
This is an open forum for ideas of getting us to Florida.
Well, we could fly, take the train drive, steal a speedboat, steal a car, hitchhike.
I don't know how to
Rare
drive.
circumstances you might find a Pegasi. Oh, that's fun, because I do. Don't worry about it. Well, might also be Pegasi. You sometimes run into them. But
Yeah, this is a good
road
point.
meat. Road meat.
Could I attempt to make a rainbow out of something before it gets dark?
At this point, yeah, it's probably around dusk. So with the, you could probably
Can I, like,
find
stick-
a way to get some sea spray and
Yeah, could I like
we
stick the ore into the water and make it just skid along the top, making a big sea spray?
Yeah, you can go for that. And in the dusk, that would give you a bit of time for an iris message if you wanted to try and send one.
Okay, he's gonna go away from the party
Okay.
because he doesn't want to look stupid. He's gonna go below decks to set up the ore and make the iris message. He's gonna say, "Oh Iris, goddess of the rainbow, please show me Chiron." And he's gonna toss a drachma into the thing.
And you see, as it goes through, the image shimmers, and a circular image appears in the air and the spray. And you see your mentor with his grizzled, pepper beard, leaned on one hand, falling asleep at his desk.
Hey Chiron. I am sorry to wake you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, young Max.
Hi. So Zinnia got us like a ghost boat. And we sailed that out of the Sound, and then we headed past New York. However, it's come to our attention that none of us are particularly proficient in sailing boats.
I should have thought of that.
We've gotten by so far, but we're thinking it might be in the best interest of time.
Wait. And he leans down, and you hear like the moving of drawers as he and he pulls out what looks like the scroll from earlier, and he moves it, rolling up one end, getting to the bottom. I can have someone meet you along your journey who is knowledgeable in ships. I can't believe we've overthought that section. I had just assumed that with the amount of time you spent with young Narada, you would know how to sail.
I'm learning. I'm getting it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't sail much on the actual water. It's mainly in the canoe pond.
That was my fault. I overlooked that. I can send someone to guide you at least to the Sea of Monsters once on the journey. I'll have them set out now that I don't know when they'll find you.
Well, I can give you a approximate look. We passed by New York about 2 or 3 hours ago, and we're near the shore. We're near the shoreline.
If you were to find a port of some kind, that would be helpful.
Our current plan was gonna be to pull into the next port. So yeah, I can do that. Well, otherwise, I was gonna ask if you can maybe send us some Pegasi, but if you can send us a ship, man, that'd be real cool.
I would love to send you Pegasi, but Pollux has been grooming the ones that we can send out on missions to do more of the land-based missions. It's dangerous to send the Pegasi out on the ocean when there is nowhere for them to land.
Maybe some hippocampi. I don't know.
Perhaps I can call my.
But if you can send us someone who knows how to sail a boat, that'd also be really cool.
I can do that. You say you have a vessel now.
Yeah, it's a little damp, a little bit rotting. I'm not sure how well it'll hold up if we have to fight a sea monster.
Well, good thing for you, Kyrides is a flying monster.
I mean, I wouldn't call that a good thing, but good in this context. Sure.
I can send someone to pilot a vessel. Yes, I can do such a thing.
Thank you very much, Chiron.
Yes.
You're not gonna tell him that Zinnia got claimed?
Oh yeah. Also Zinnia got claimed.
Oh, when did this happen?
They are right as they summoned the ghost ship, and they had 3 wavy lines above their head, and Jax told me that was the symbol of the Lethe. Yeah.
Ah, good. I feared another child of the underworld would be perhaps another Hades child. Lethe, that's not something I've seen in a while. Well, that is good to know. Yes, find a port, contact me again, and I shall see what we can do, though.
Okie dokie.
You say Zinnia is the one who summoned this vessel?
Well, they went out onto the sound, and they put out their hand, and then like the water turned a bluish purpley kind of thing, and then a ship appeared.
That sounds less like your friend summoned it and more like it was a gift. I would be wary of removing yourself from it for fear of angering a god, but that is your choice.
Okay. Good talk.
Good talk.
And he wipes his hand through the iris message.
Well, that was rude. He didn't say goodbye.
Aaron's goal for this campaign is to just bat down Max down to
No, we need to keep Max, Himbo, and Sunshine.
We need to get the only ray of sunshine in this whole campaign. We can't let it go.
We're just all like surrounding Max, like, no, you're not stupid. You're wonderful. We love you. We're so proud of you.
You're great. You're wonderful. Let's work out, okay?
Okay, Max is gonna go back up to the top deck and be like, okay, I just spoke to Chiron. He says we should probably hold on to the ship in case we anger a god. And he said that we should pull into the next port. And he's gonna have someone meet us there who knows how to pilot ships.
Where's the next port?
Well, we should just stay close to the shoreline and keep going south. I'm sure we'll find something.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye out for a port. What of tonight? What do we do? Do we sail through the night?
I think probably in the interest of time, might be a good idea to sail it at least as long as we can. I'm gonna stay up as much as possible.
I don't sleep. I can stay up as well.
You don't sleep? Okay.
They're like, I don't sleep.
The DM furiously
I don't
checks
sleep.
the class to see whether or not there's an ability that stops you from having to sleep.
No, just Jackson.
Oh, just being edgy and emo. Okay,
just
cool.
being edgy.
It's just
I don't
Jackson.
sleep.
One day
I
we
don't
catch Jackson sleeping, and it's like, oh really? I was just resting my eyes.
Fuck off.
Go away.
Between the 4 of you, go ahead and each of you make me perception checks.
15.
17.
I miss Maya. -1, 10.
Yikes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Deception.
Okay, well,
17.
Jackson, what was you again?
17.
17. Max, what was you?
15.
Okay. Morgan, what'd you get?
Got a saucy 20.
Okay, so Morgan and Jax, right? Yes, Jax. The 2 of you, after about another 45 minutes of going, the sun is beginning to set. You see lights along the shoreline and beacons that would indicate that there is a port upcoming if you guys want to try and pull into that.
Yay! Let's go.
Okay. Between the rest of Zinnia's uses of the abandoned mastery and everything, you manage to come closer to the docks, and as you get there, you see that this is a little inlet, a water inlet, where it looks like 2 sections of land meet, and you can go from into the water and come around, and there's another dock on like the inside of the inlet.
Hey, can one of you take the rudder? I need to go beyond the oars.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Because if we just fucking go straight in full speed into a dock, we're gonna crash into something.
Bad.
Valid.
Give me just a second. I'm pulling up my notes. I apologize. It's in the brain. All right, and
I don't
here
really
we
want to
go.
stress test this rotting boat.
Oh, you should definitely stress test the rotting boat. It's gonna hold
I
up
want-
marvelously
I
in
want
combat.
to test it.
Okay, wait, where did this go? I just had this.
Mum was just like, "You want a boat? Here.
Here's your boat.
Here's your fucking
Here's
boat.
your boat."
Take this piece of shit. Ungrateful ass.
Fucking asking
There
for a boat.
Okay,
Fucking
I was
have a
wondering what it
boat.
was. Okay, so you begin to pull in, and you see this is where a river, this inlet, actually leads out into the ocean. And as you approach, you see that there's a highway that goes over this inlet. Can I go ahead and just get a group? We'll call this a survival check, just to easily pull this into shore.
Oh, I'm good at those.
Survival?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
15.
Survival's wisdom. I'm bad at those.
By the way, if for this one, Zinnia, you can go ahead and do this at advantage and add your proficiency bonus, even if you're not proficient.
Yes. That rolled really bad. Okay, that's better.
Okay, so Jax, what'd you get?
15.
Okay, Max, what'd you get?
Saucy 20.
Morgan, what'd you get?
70.
Zinnia, what'd you get?
18.
18. Okay, so between the four of you, listening to Zinnia's orders, bringing the ship in, you managed to easily steer it between the concrete pillars that hold up the highway, going underneath it, bringing in all of the sails as best you can. Max down below, just full weight moving it.
Feel the burn.
You guys can get it around one side of a marina and into this small inlet dock with maybe 4 rows of boats. And you look around and there's a couple of empty spots at the dock, and no one seems to be paying you any mind at the moment. Since it's after dark, most people are no longer at the marina.
Pull her in.
So you guys pull the ship into the docks, and I think with those checks, it'll be more than easy enough for you guys to get her up. Eventually, Max, as you get closer, you just start letting it drift and pull in the oars.
Stop,
and-
rowing in the opposite direction. Slows down.
Yeah, and start moving it in the opposite direction. Jax, Zinnia has you come down off of the boat and grab a rope and tie them down onto the docks. The 4 of you together, being able to anchor your boat well enough, you are now in a set of docks where it seems like there's a ton of other ships and not a whole lot of other people. What are you doing?
Is there anywhere good to sleep? Like a little hostel?
You look up, and there is at these docks. It is the floating docks that lead to a small, like, concrete passway that leads up to a set of buildings where there's a gate. Other than that, there's the other ships, and there's your ship.
What do these other ships look like?
Modern ships, all like small speedboats or sailing vessels. The occasional like crabbing vessel, but nothing too large. This is a smaller dock.
So we've got the biggest ship here.
You definitely have the biggest ship here.
Cool.
Cool. And we don't
Okay.
want to get rid of this bird.
Do I think it would be wise to start a fire on the ship? Like a little controlled fire to keep us warm?
It definitely couldn't burn the ship, because even though the ship has been in the sun all day, even the sections that are in the sun have still stayed wet and damp.
Okay. Max is gonna go around. I'm assuming there's like a beach around.
If you walk off the docks and head, there's a little bit of a pebbly, rocky beach, yeah.
Okay, he's gonna start collecting stuff to make a makeshift fire pit on the ship.
Okay. Also, Max, go ahead and just roll me just a perception check real quick.
Ooh, 22.
Okay, 22. You see, as you're walking out of the docks, you see a sign that says South Shore Marina at Indian River. I don't know how well your knowledge of geography is. Go ahead and roll me just like a general intelligence check.
13. It's a 14 minus.
No,
1.
you wouldn't know where you're at then. Sorry.
Well, I can just tell Kyron we're at the Indian River, like the location of that's on the sign.
Yeah.
In the
But yeah, you
morning.
go to the marshy, like pebbly beaches, and you gather enough stones and rocks. The rest of you, what are you doing while Max is doing this?
I can go out and like scout the area, I guess.
Okay.
See what's up.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a
We find
perception.
a corner
Go
to
ahead and
lurk in.
perception check.
Then
me
yeah, we'll come with you and give you advantage.
All right, you're gonna assist.
Oh, thank God. Because I rolled a 1 and an 8. 11.
11. Okay.
Advantage?
With advantage. I am not wise, but I'm proficient. I'm not wise, but proficient.
So I'm suspicious of everything, but I'm not wise.
Okay. So, the two of you walk off the boat and begin to walk around the docks, keeping an eye out, watching the perimeter. It's dark. It's not very easy to be seen. The wind is a little cold, even though it's summer now. You see Max off on the beach. And you don't really see anything on your walk. Morgan, you having stayed on the ship, you're sitting there trying to find more of a comfortable place to sit on the boat, something that's not nearly as wet. And you hear a splash.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing?
I ready my magic
Okay.
and look over where the splash came from.
Okay. You look over the side of the boat, the side not tied to the docks, because you guys are kind of on the outside of the docks right now, because you wouldn't fit into like any of the really small areas inside. Because the dock is essentially like a giant C-shaped dock with little branches coming off of it. You guys are on the outside of that, so you look over into the bay, and you see that there is motion in the water directly below the edge of the ship.
Can I cast a spell?
What kind of spell?
Can I cast command?
Okay. And what are you going to say, and who are you targeting?
I'm targeting the movement.
Okay.
And can I say surface?
Okay. So let me see here. You can command, speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. Target must succeed on a whiz save or follow the command until its next turn. No effects. Undead doesn't understand your language or if the command is directly harmful to it. You feel the spell have no effect.
Interesting.
And as you're watching, you see there's like a shiny ridge-like surface for ever so slightly. You just barely see like a black, sleek, shiny surface before it dives back under the water.
Morgan is gonna do. I am not a wise person.
None of us are wise bitches.
Morgan will step on the side of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And just take one step off and let herself fall in the water.
So you put one foot over the edge and hop down.
I was really addicted to making new characters.
The rest of you, roll me a perception check, because the first one you definitely wouldn't have heard. This one you might hear.
Nope, I rolled a 9.
Not with a natural 1, I don't.
That's a 13.
I'm also not
Okay.
there.
I know, you're off on the beach. I'm saying you're all within hearing distance of this if you rolled high enough perception. So, Morgan, you splash down into the water. It is frigidly cold, even in early summer. You feel your clothing immediately fill with salt water, and it is this immediate shock of brine into your system. And you land in the water,
keeping your head above. What are you doing?
I'm looking for movement.
Okay, roll me a perception check. Disadvantage because it's night and also in the water.
Okay, I rolled a 14 and a 7 plus 7 plus 5.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so 7 plus 5 is 12. You look around and you feel movement in the water, but your eyes are having trouble keeping track of it as something hard and shiny barely grazes your leg and then swims away a little bit. And you can feel motion and shapes in the water, but it is so hard with you having to keep your head above water at this moment.
They're not doing anything, are they?
At the moment, they are not seeming to attack you.
Do I get the sense that it's one thing or several things?
As something brushes your leg, you feel something else come behind you and touch your back as it swims by. There's multiple things in the water. And then as one swims back by your leg, you feel a sharp jab in your leg as you take 5 points of piercing damage as you feel something bite into the edge of your ankle.
And
I cast fly.
Okay, good. As you technically, can you make me your choice of an athletics or acrobatics check, please?
Can I make... One moment, please. I want to see the stats I have in it. Can I make an Actually, both of them are the same. I'll just make an acrobatics check.
Mm-hmm.
I got a natural 20.
Good, you beat it then. So you feel this thing, whatever it was just trying to latch into your leg, and as you fly away, instantly casting a spell that will propel you out of the water, this green magic shooting down from your body, you feel it just rip off of you. And you're going to take an additional 3 points of piercing damage as you feel something being pulled out of your leg. Because it had sunk its prongs into your leg. And you burst out of the water. The rest of you at this point, I will say, are within range to have heard a massive splash, and now see Morgan flying via this green magic maybe 10 feet above the ship.
Oh yeah, she's still like... She's hovering above where she came out of. So she came out of the ocean and she's like 20 feet above the water looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Max is
She's
dumping
grinning.
everything he's carrying and sprinting back to the ship.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will say you probably took at least one of your javelins with you if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the other two, what are you two doing?
Sprinting.
I'm running.
I have my
okay.
war club on me.
Yeah, you would definitely have your war club on you. So the rest of
Literally
you
plan
begin
without it.
sprinting. Begin sprinting towards
Yep.
the boat. And Morgan, as you look down, you see these shapes moving in the water, maybe 4 to 6 feet long. Now that your light is properly illuminating the surface of the water, these massive carapaces of these beetle-looking creatures that begin to slowly swim. And as you're hovering, one of them arm comes out of the water, it looking like this hooked hand with several claws coming out the bottom of it. Thunk, anchors itself in the side of the boat. Thunk, anchors itself again and begins to slowly pull itself out of the water. This carapace revealing this beetle-like shape with a long neck that's face is curled into this almost lizard-like head with these separately moving eyes and a massive spike coming out of the top of it. Its scaled neck, this blue-purple carapace. Its claws having at least 6 to 8 limbs begins to... And as it ends out of the water, you see the back of its carapace begin to open. As it takes flight, 3 more coming from behind it. That's where we're going to end today's episode.
Yeah, god damn it. Now, Morgan, what did we learn? You don't just jump in the water when you hear something.
Listen, Morgan is smart. I am a curious bitch, so I wanted to know what was happening.
There are
I feel like
there are other ways of testing
I was
what is
like,
there.
oh, Morgan's
than
gonna
just...
like Eldritch blast the water or something and just see what happens.
I wonder what's in these shark-infested waters. Oh, it's sharks.
I'm gonna be
Sharks.
more in
Much scarier
character
than
next
sharks.
time, but Val really wanted to know what it was, and that was a Val choice.
There were other ways of finding out what was in the water.
Yeah,
than
but
feeding
left-
yourself to them.
Leftover Kelly impulses.
All right, so that was our first episode of season 2 of Dungeons and Demigods. Thank you for joining us, especially for Dungeons and Demigods on Azure Wings. Next week on Wednesday, over on twitch.tv/schooner or later, if someone wants to drop that link in the chat, please, one of you four.
I'll do it.
Thank you. We are going to be launching the other season 2 of Dungeons and Demigods, Leviathan's Grasp, where you'll get to see the quest of Nerida, Luke, Addie, and V, not this V, a different V, who are all on their own quest into the Atlantic Ocean, where hopefully they'll fare a little bit better. That will be going on at 4:30 PST over on that Twitch channel, and then we'll be back next Friday at noon PST. Noon PST. Looking at all of you. With the next episode of this, and then don't forget on this very channel at 11:30 PST, 7:30 GMT, there is the Sword Chronicles over here on twitch.tv/ThisShowIsAMimic,
Tomorrow
where
night,
Birdie will be
they're all
DMing,
gonna
and he'll
die.
get me back for this. Yeah, he's gonna be mean to me.
I'm not
I
gonna be
think
mean
that's
to you.
I
I'm not
wonder
gonna
how
be mean to
many
you.
campaigns
You're
we
gonna
can
face the
take at one
consequences of your own actions.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you again.
Bye.